How are we now? Welcome to the shed. The silver GSX hasn't got a frame number, I don't know why, so we're robbing Peter to pay Paul, so it's time to strip this thing down and get all the decent bits off. I know I keep saying it, but I am absolutely amazed at how all of these bolts are coming out. I know they've been sat around for years on somebody's front uncovered, but other than the occasional bolt, everything's come apart. Nice unmolested rear mudguard. This one had got a standard airbox on it as well, which I wanted, and obviously the engine, which I need. Little did I know that the airbox wouldn't actually come out through the back of the bike. I ended up stripping most of the back down to find out that it wouldn't fit anyway. It's an engine out job. Right, let's get this engine out. Take the exhaust off. Again, all the bolts came out, no sweat.
I got a black cat charm and a heart turned blue. Got a letter from
well, we have another seized bolt. Doesn't really matter because the exhaust has had its day anyway, so it's coming off and getting thrown away. So I didn't worry too much about it. After a tiny little persuasion, it said, okay, I'll come off then. Wiring loom seems to be in far better condition on this one than on the red one. It's not hard really, is it, to be honest? So I'm working towards using this wiring loom on the red bike. Somebody has attacked the switch gear, but doesn't matter, we'll get round that one. And again, in its favour, the forks on this bike aren't in bad condition. I was going to try and find some other forks, but I'm going to try these. I'll have a proper investigation of them once I've taken all this lot off. And I was quite surprised when I unscrewed this top nut and realised that this taper roller bearing is actually fitted on this one. Only little issue is I can't actually get the other half of the bearing out because it's sunk into the frame. But I don't need the frame. Again, I want to use the front and rear wheels on this bike because they're still standard, which is quite nice. One big issue I've got with the back wheel is it is absolutely seized solid. Now, I'm thinking that it's possibly the brake shoes have welded themselves onto the actual drum itself. We'll have a look once we try and take it all apart. Now, I've also taken the engine out of this. It's not worth showing you that because we did it on the last video anyway. Exactly the same, all came out, no problem whatsoever. In fact, it was far easier out of this one than it was out of the red one. Careful, Colin! It's got a cracking centre stand on it, this one, so I thought, right, well, we'll have that as well. A couple of R-clips through the bolts. And I even thought these are going to be completely and utterly rusted. So I got my breaker bar with a 14mm socket on it, and they just came loose. No problem. Don't forget lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Yeah, black ink glitter came this very morning. Said my baby gone away, and my good luck so gone.
Last thing on the frame, swinging arm. I thought this was going to be reet tight. So out with the brake kit, click, off she comes. Again, I'm amazed.
That paper, lady down my bed. Folded that paper.
last thing, undo the rear shocks, let the swinging arm drop out, and that's it. We can now dispose of the frame. Had a bit of a tidy up in the shed. Look at this, it's absolutely amazing, can't beat it. So I'm going to be really pleased about working on the bench. Oh, okay. Time to do to the red bike what we've already done to the silver bike. So we'll get this front end off, hopefully, should be lucky once again, and see whether we've got taper roller bearings or not. With the persuading mallet just to help things along. Another few items to dump on the bench. I really don't know where I'm going to put all this stuff. I'd like to keep the reflectors. Period thing. And I remember when I was 17 in the late 70s, I used to take them off because we didn't like them. Well, here we go for the big reveal. Tapers or rollers. So it's basically still on standard bearings, which in a way it's a good thing, I suppose. They will get swapped for the tapered ones though. Front wheel and forks off. Looks like the forks are bent when I lift this up in a second. They're not, they're straight as a die, but extremely pitted. Last job of the day on this one. Again, take the swinging arm off. Same thing again. Everything's just coming off so easily. It's unreal.
Smoke lay on the ground. Yeah, I may know your town was humming. Smoke lay on the ground.
I lied. Last job of the day was actually to take the main and the side stand off. Main stand is buggered on this. You've already seen the curved piece of threaded bar for the foot. The side stand's actually worn through underneath. So I'll have to go on eBay and find another one. Right, so while I ponder over what I'm going to do with the frame, either paint it or get it powder coated, I thought, well, I'll have a play. I've got this trim and bumper stuff from Auto Glim that I've had for donkey's years. Thought, I wonder if it'll bring the plastics up and make them look half decent. So I thought I'll try them on the clocks and see whether it brings this dull grey up to quite a nice blackish finish. I was expecting to see a couple of bulbs and a printed circuit board when I did this. I didn't realise it'd be two normal clocks. So I dabbed a bit of gel onto a cloth and decided to start rubbing all of this stuff and see what happens.
Down on Beale Street side.
I'll tell you what, that's not looking that bad.
Down on Beale Street side.
So here we have sort of a before and an after. And they have come up rather well. Quite pleased with that.
For the tears I try to...
From a dull grey to a satin black. Let's hope it stays like that. Thank you, Auto Glim. Sanded and sprayed the chain guard as well. Tried to keep the original sticker on. It hasn't come up the best, but it'll do. Still umming and ahhing about this frame. I don't know whether to have it powder coated or whether to just paint it. Decided to degrease it. I thought I might as well, just to give it the once over, see how bad it is, or how good it is, we never know. So it was out with the wire brush, get rid of most of the detritus. out with the muck off, bit of degreaser, blast it all over the frame. One of the hottest days of the year. This was just before Maybank holiday. The second one, that is, not the first one. And to be honest, it wasn't looking too bad. Gave it a quick scrub before I got the pressure washer on it. The water pressure in my area is absolutely disgusting, so I had to keep stopping every now and again, let the hose fill up before I started using the pressure washer again. Thought I'd have a go at cleaning the air filter housing and the rear fender, mudguard, whatever you want to call it. So again, out with the degreaser, give it a quick blast over, and then set to with the pressure washer after I'd give it a quick scrub with the scrubbing brush and see how it comes up. It looks as though somebody's painted the rear mudguard with a bit of hammerite paint. So I thought, well, I'll give it a go with a bit of wire wool just to see whether it'll bring it off alright. Which it sort of was. It's done better than I thought it would do. And then I thought, why don't I get something like a Stanley knife blade and just give it a nice light scrape. Now that did seem to bring it a lot better. But then underneath I've now got issues where I've got all the rubbing marks, so I'm going to have to start doing a bit of sanding. Well, the previous owner was full of empty promises. He turned around and said to me, "Oh, I'll drop the keys off for you. Just moving house. As soon as I find them, you can have them." Well, unfortunately, he hasn't turned up, so I went to Key to Code on eBay. Gave him the number of the key, and 2 weeks later I've had a key delivered in the post. So I'm just going to try it to see whether it actually works, which yes it does. This is on the seat lock. I think the ignition's going to be questionable because I don't think it's the original one. Next up is the helmet lock. And once again, yes, that works. Headed out at dawn. Steering lock, key in, and yes, that works as well. We're doing very well. Thank you very much, Key to Code. So here's the ignition. As you can see, it's actually got a steering lock on it, so I knew it wasn't the original. And the key won't turn, so that's a no on that one. Right, now the rusty old tank. I have a feeling this is going to be a real pain in the bum. So it's trying to turn. Let's push it in, try it again. No, still not. I'll keep trying, let's see what happens. Let my baby cry and said she can't live that. So let's try some GT85. Get it underneath the lock if I can, and I'll also spray it in the barrel, see if that helps. Can't live that way. So, didn't seem to do a lot, to be honest. I thought, well, the tank's buggered anyway. So let's get the old screwdriver out and do a bit of levering, you never know. Still to no avail. Getting a bit worried now. And then eventually we got a bit of turnage. I thought, aha, Right, let's get the screwdriver out again. We'll try a bit more GT85, see if we can get it underneath now this time.
Lord, I don't need no preacher, just that dust road to join.
And it looks like we're in. It's still very, there we go, it's still very rusty. I've got plenty of time anyway. I'll be cleaning all this up, getting it working properly. I'm really pleased I'm not using this tank. It is absolutely caked in rust. Okay, so I've got the frame all ready. Just need to take it down to the powder coaters now, which will be tomorrow more than likely. So I'm going to leave this one here, call it a day. Well, call it about 4 days actually. At least all my locks work except for the one. So we'll see you on the next one.